Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
It won't quite be the way you remember, but the Detroit Archdiocese is making plans to restart public masses in churches. Hank.
The airlines will soon be working to get you back, but flying is going to look much different in the future. I'll show you what's being done right now to make sure passengers remain safe.
Okay, Hank, and Macomb County's top elected officials speaking out against Governor Whitmer's approach to stopping the spread of COVID-19.
But let's start things off with breaking news here at 6 o'clock. Charges have just been filed against Mumford High School swimming teacher, 47-year-old Kareem Sigler. He is being charged in connection with the death of 15-year-old Deshaun Blanding, who drowned back in February during swim class. Prosecutors say Sigler was grossly negligent by failing to supervise his students, and he's being charged with involuntary manslaughter. We'll continue to follow that story. Now let's get to the latest on the coronavirus crisis. So much new information coming out today about future plans as institutions try to restore whatever sense of normalcy is possible.
Yeah, but first, the here and now. The number of reported new cases remains steady at 469, with 90 more lives lost here in Michigan.
Due to the state losing so much revenue during the pandemic, school districts are being warned to prepare for a possible 10 to 25% cut in state funding.
A day after Central Michigan University announced its plan to hold face-to-face classes in the fall, Ferris State University is following suit. The school says it's also preparing for a remote learning fallback if needed. We know people all over the state are itching to certainly get back to work.
Macomb County Executive Mark Hackel is hearing it from a lot of businesses there. He's now urging the governor to ease up on her stay-at-home order. Let's bring in business editor Rod Maloney live with more on what Hackel would like to see from the state. Rod.
Well, Devin, here's the thing. Mark Hackel says what happened. He said we started out trying to flatten the curve, and now the goalpost has been moved to something he doesn't even recognize. What he's saying is, from everybody he's talked to, the curve's been flattened.
And even the hospitals are saying we've obtained that goal now. We were able to kind of make that a non-issue. And so now the question is, why are we still, pushing forward with this non-essential opening in a slow, progressive way?
He was highly unimpressed with the governor's 6-stage reopening plan she rolled out last week.
Let's be honest. I mean, once it came out, nobody paid attention to it or was looking at it anymore.
He calls it extremely complex, yet at the same time doesn't tell anyone anything. Okay,
it's a nice project that somebody had put together, but for utilization of the general public or the business sector, we get inundated with calls, from the business as well as the private sector saying to us, what does it mean? When can I open?
We asked the governor's office about Hackel's concerns, and the response is the standard answer. Quote, Governor Whitmer is using the best facts and data provided to safely re-engage our state in a way that protects working people and mitigates the likelihood of a second spike in cases. The Michigan Safe Start plan she shared last week was intentioned to provide as clear of a vision as we can right now about what will come next, in what order, and how we will be making these important decisions, end quote. Hackel says he'd like to see some real data.
What is it we're looking for? What is a number? Is there a percentage? Is there a percentage less of people getting sick, percentage less of death? What is it specifically we're looking for before we start opening up some of these other businesses? And I don't think anybody has that answer.
Now, Hackel is also saying, look, he wants to be very clear that the state can open safely, that businesses are willing to do whatever social distancing or follow whatever rules is necessary to make it so that they can open safely. And he says they want to do it. They want to do it now. We'll see where this goes. Reporting live downtown, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Okay, Rod.
Well, the nation's top health officials testified before a Senate committee today, and much of the questioning focused on what's going to happen this fall. Will colleges be able to reopen? Will kids be able to go back to school? Our Dr. Frank McGeorge is here to break down what the testimony had to say that has so many parents anxious to hear. Doc?
Yeah, Kim, Dr. Fauci made it very clear, even if we do get better control of the virus in the summer months, he believes it is not going away to just go away, and it will eventually return in the fall. But he hopes we will be better prepared to deal with it.
I hope that if we do have the threat of a second wave, we will be able to deal with it very effectively to prevent it from becoming an outbreak.
But Dr. Fauci stressed that senators should not expect a vaccine will be available in time for kids returning to school.
The idea of having treatments available or a vaccine to facilitate the reentry of students into the fall term would be something that would be a bit of a bridge too far.
Experts said the strategy of keeping college campuses safe will depend on the level of community spread and the availability of testing.
We expect there to be 25 to 30 million point-of-care tests per month available. It is certainly possible to test all of the students, or it is much more likely that there would be a surveillance strategy done where you may test some of the students at different times.
For younger children, Fauci urged caution.
I think we better be careful if we are not cavalier in thinking that children are completely immune to the deleterious effects. Children, in general, do much, much better than adults and the elderly, and particularly those with underlying conditions. But I am very careful and hopefully humble in knowing that I don't know everything about this disease, and that's why I'm very reserved in making broad predictions.
Now, the overriding theme of today's hearing was that decisions about what happens in the fall will need to be made based on the amount of virus spreading in the community, the level of testing available, and our ability to identify and contain new cases quickly. Back to you.
Okay, Frank. We are learning more about a family of 5 who fled ISIS 8 years ago and built a new life here in Metro Detroit.
The father worked at an automotive supply company. The mother was a homemaker. And they both lost their lives to COVID-19, leaving behind 3 children with no immediate family to step in and care for them. Priya Mann spoke to a local charity trying to help those kids through an unimaginable loss.
While their parents were in the hospital, the 2 older kids had coronavirus. While they were sick at home, they knew their parents were in the ICU but didn't understand how critically ill their parents were.
Easter came and went, Mother's Day came and went. These kids are alone.
Within a few weeks, a brother and his 2 younger sisters lost their parents. Netta Aram got COVID-19 first and went to Ascension Hospital in Warren.
When mom gets sick, there's no one home to cook and clean and do all that stuff that they're used to, someone doing. Plus, on top of it all, they're sick the first few weeks of it.
The virus spread to the 20-year-old and his 18-year-old sister.
They both had fevers that were so high that they were changing their clothes 6 to 7 times a day.
Shortly after their dad, Namir Aram, got infected and his condition deteriorated rapidly. The father was transferred to U of M Hospital in Ann Arbor. He died Monday, a few weeks after his wife.
It's just been a whirlwind for them. I don't think they're going to realize what they've been through for a while.
The Chaldean community is rallying around the 3 kids.
We are going to build a shield around them. The Chaldean American Ladies of Charity were a group of volunteer women that started this organization. And so we're hoping to be the mom that takes care of them when they're sick, the mom that they come to when they need advice.
It's painful to think of the many milestones this mom and dad will miss.
One day they're going to graduate from college and they're going to get married and they're going to have to go through all these life experiences with each other, but without their parents.
The community wants them to know they're not alone.
They're not going to have their parents there to say, we're so proud of you. They're angels looking on from above, but it's something that I can't even fathom.
Just an unimaginable tragedy, and the charity needs your help. They need a lawyer so that the eldest sibling can become the guardian for his 13-year-old sister. She did not catch COVID-19, and the charity says they're working with her schools. Any money that's donated will help cover bills and go to their college fund. If you'd like to help, we have information on clickondetroit.com. I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
All right, Priya, and we're told a small funeral service for the children's father is planned for tomorrow. The Archdiocese of Detroit sending out new guidelines today for the return of public masses at churches. The directive published today says parishes are permitted to resume public masses 1 week from now. Tuesday, May 19th would be the start. It says parishes will resume public masses by Friday the 29th. The Archdiocese says the faithful are dispensed from their Sunday obligation to attend Mass until the first week of September. Church is also encouraging certain people to stay home altogether, including those 65 years of age and up, or those with compromised health conditions, also people who are caring for the sick in any way. At any given Mass, churches cannot exceed 25% of capacity, and they have to keep parishioners 6 feet apart within the pews, except for people who are in the same family. Parishioners will be expected to wear face coverings or masks in and around church buildings. Collection plates will not be passed. Instead, designated offering areas are going to be set up. Communion is still going to be given, but neither the giver nor the receiver may wear gloves. The exchange of the sign of peace is to be omitted, and that is for obvious reasons. And music is to be kept to a minimum, as singing produces many more droplets from people's mouths. Any choir members have to be distanced 10 feet apart. Those are just the highlights. We have published the full set of new guidelines at our website. You can see them at clickondetroit.com.
All right, that's going to look different, and so will flying very soon. Health concerns have some airports investigating the idea of checking passengers' temperatures or requiring so-called immunity passports before you can board. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester is live, and Hank, this has a lot of people talking, but I'm wondering, is it really realistic?
Yeah, Kimberly, that's what a lot of people in the medical field and security experts are looking at right now. I mean, if you make your way to the airport right now, things look vastly different. The crowds are gone. But in the future, you may have to provide information about your health. You may be stopped at TSA to have your temperature taken. Sky 4 over Metro Airport today. The airport quiet. Many Spirit planes are parked right now. Air traffic down about 90% across the board from a year ago at this time. The airline industry is scrambling, working to get passengers back soon while also focusing on safety. Some, including Delta's CEO, interested in the idea of an immunity passport. This is a health document that you would carry if you have fully recovered from COVID-19. This idea is just being investigated right now. Here's Local 4 Dr. Frank McGeorge.
The idea of identifying who might be immune so that they can more freely interact societally does make good sense. However, scientifically, we are nowhere near determining who has ideal levels of protection or if that protection might be long-term.
The TSA also taking a look at the idea of taking the temperature of passengers at checkpoints. The CEO of Southwest supporting this idea, but some in the security and medical fields wonder if it's feasible.
Before boarding a flight, taking your temperature at a TSA location is not a bad idea. The problem is people can still have a COVID-19 infection and not have a fever. So if you find a fever, that's very helpful. You can take that person out of circulation. But just because you don't have a fever does not mean you are not infectious or infected.
The addition of a temperature check could also create a logistics nightmare with social distancing in place. Could security lines be miles long in the future? Right now, it's too early to tell. And right now, TSA is saying that they're just investigating these ideas, taking a look at the temperature check at security and also the possibility of an immunity passport. No decisions have been made, but we are told decisions will likely be made before the flying public gets back into airports, and that's expected to pick up by June. We're live here tonight. Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank.
All right, Hank, let's get you an update now in the UAW corruption scandal. Former union president Gary Jones is going to be arraigned on charges Thursday. That will happen, as you might expect, via video. Jones faces charges of embezzlement, racketeering, and tax charges. Prosecutors say Jones stole more than $1 million in union money. Jones quit as the UAW's president back in November after federal agents searched his Canton Township home last summer.
But what an awesome looking day outside today. Hi, Ben.
Yeah, Kim, with the sunshine and the Blue Angels in the sky, I mean, we certainly possibly couldn't be back to 32 tonight. But yes, we are. One more night, and then we're off to the races. We'll look at that next.
After weeks of work, one salon owner says she's ready to reopen. Coming up, her story of frustration and her message for the governor.